One, two, three in the place to be. It's from the bottom of the map. It's your dog Israel, and I had to do a quick video on this craziness that we seen happen last night. Miami goes down to North Carolina State, crash and burn fashion, 20-6. Real quick, let's get some numbers. I know everybody's been getting into Tyler Van Dyke. Tyler Van Dyke, 21 of 38, 173 yards, 4.6 yards per pass, zero touchdowns, three picks. Mark Fletcher had a pretty good game, 23 carries, 115 yards, 5 yards a carry, no touchdowns. Before we get into Tyler Van Dyke and some of the other things that was bad, we got to give it up one time for the defense. The defense held North Carolina State to 108 yards rushing, and they had a total of 123 yards receiving. So the defense did a pretty good job. A couple of missed tackles by James Williams gave up a touchdown, not wrapping up. But for the most part, the defense did their thing. Russian North Carolina State's quarterback, MJ Morris, he really didn't have, but he's kind of really not known as a passer, but he didn't have a good game. So the defense did their thing. There really wasn't like a dominant person on defense. Everybody kind of chipped in. Maui Noga chipped in. Cam Kitchens chipped in. Bain didn't have a dominant game, but he chipped in. Dean chipped in. Leonard Taylor chipped in. Harrison Hunt chipped in. Um, Basink chipped in. Jaden Davis chipped in. James Williams chipped in. So basically, the whole defense. This is not on them. The defense did their thing. They held up as much as they should have. Now, let's get to the real issue. Tyler Van Dyke has been playing pretty bad for about 4 weeks, 4 games. He's been playing pretty bad. But it isn't Tyler Van Dyke. It's the coaching staff. And we're just gonna have to like call it what it is. The coaching staff is in over their head. Um, they just keep having these games where they keep getting out coached, like consistently out coached. They can't scheme up anything. They can't. They can't bust any zone defenses. So North Carolina State basically played two defenses the whole night. They played a drop eight zone or they did zero blitz. So they're man on corner and they're sending everybody, or they're just sending three, four, and dropping everybody else, dropping into coverage. Miami has been seeing this for a while now. Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Clemson, Virginia, they've been seeing this defense for a while where people are just basically, you know, allowing them to beat these coverages, but they're not beating it because Miami hasn't figured out that you can beat zones by doing something other than throwing a tunnel screen. The tight ends had, they're finally starting to try to incorporate the tight ends, but the tight ends haven't been getting passes all year. So anything that they're throwing their way, they're dropping it. They just don't look very comfortable out there in the offense. They look very out of place, out of sync. So I have to give it up for North Carolina State's coach Dave Doring, um, because what he did is he schemed up a defense that was going to um he schemed up a defense that kept Miami in check. The rushing game, it was decent, but it didn't bust anything. It didn't bust no big runs. There weren't just gaping holes everywhere. The rushing attack was solid, but it didn't affect the game. It wasn't affecting the game because you're basically running out of the same formation every play. You're running out of shotgun, one step, hand the ball off, halfback power. There's no off tackle, there's no counter plays, there's no misdirection. There's not anything to kind of put North Carolina State on their heels. So Miami's playing into North Carolina State's hand because When they send a zero blitz, they're running right into it. Mark Fletcher, he's a good back, but he's not able to, he's falling forward, which is, I appreciate that. He's falling forward, he's getting 4 or 5 yards, but nothing to where he's, the offense is giving North Carolina State any different looks to where they have to switch up their defense or they're doing anything to where their defense kind of have to audible in and out of plays. They basically set their defense, and that's what it was. Dave Doring also got to give a shout out to him because when it comes to coaching, he has his guy, he has his playmaker, Concepcion. And Concepcion, we talked about this last week. He's a playmaker. He's somebody they're gonna put the ball in his hands. They're gonna find different ways to get the ball into his hand. He lines up in the backfield. He's in the wildcat. He's in the slot. He's out wide. He's lined up everywhere possible. They have all types of odd formations for him to get him the ball. He gets the ball and he doesn't Miami keeps him relatively in check, but the point is they're getting him the ball to keep Miami's defense guessing. You have to account for him. So when he's moving all over the place, has our defense moving all over the place, you gotta account for him. He had a couple big runs, he had a couple, nice catches, but he was getting touches. He was getting enough touches to where Miami's defense was kind of guessing. And I'm just like, well, if that's their playmaker and they're doing everything possible to get him the ball, why hasn't Shannon Dawson drew up some plays like that for Brashard Smith, for Ray Joseph? Because we seen Brashard Smith getting the ball in the backfield and bust one for 80 yards. We seen him catch a couple screens. But I'm just like, you have playmakers to where you get them the ball in space. You get creative with how you're drawing up the plays. You get them the ball in space, and you let them do their thing. But they're not. They don't even have the opportunity. Also, another thing Dave Doring did is he had his other quarterback in for packages. Armstrong came in for a few packages to run. He was also lined up in the backfield with Morris, or he was lined up in the backfield with Concepcion because you didn't know what was he a decoy? Was he going to get the ball? Were they going to toss it to him? He was going to throw it. You didn't know. So what they were doing, they're at least scheming up plays to give Miami different looks to where you had to guess. You don't know who's getting the ball. All right, you have to stay fundamental because you don't know if this is going to be some type of gadget play. You don't know, but at least you're getting different looks. You're getting different schemes. Miami, same old. And I don't know what this is with Restrepo lining up tight next to the tight end like every play. If you need an extra blocker, he's not the person that you need blocking, chipping defensive ends or chipping linebackers coming in. It didn't make any sense. Um, you got to continue to find, ways to get Jacoby George and Kobe Young the ball. You got to get ways to get Brashard Smith the ball. You know what Restrepo, we keep saying, Restrepo is your possession receiver. He's a person that you go to on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, when you just need to get 7 yards. But when you're ahead on the sticks, when it's 1st and 10, you gotta come up with like creative ways, a scheme to get your playmakers the ball. There is nothing that they're doing that's showing North Carolina State something different. They line up in one formation, they may shift into something, but we know what it's going to be. One step, hand the ball off, hand off to Mark Fletcher up the gut. That's it. Is no tossing to the boundary, is no tossing to the wide side. There's no counter plays, there's no trap plays, there's no pulling. It's really the same old running play over and over and over again, or it's a one step drop into a bubble screen, into some type of screen, or TVD has lost his confidence to push the ball down the field and they're checking down into these 5 yard plays, 3 yard passes, 2 yard passes behind the line of scrimmage that don't do nothing. Um, So to me, that all goes to two things. The coaches just don't know how to scheme up plays to get your playmakers the ball. They're not creative enough, and they're just kind of in over their head. And they also have, being that they're in over their head, they've lost confidence in their quarterback and putting the game into his hands. So they're scaling back the playbook, but they're scaling back the playbook that is so vanilla that unless your offensive line, which played decently, is just going to overpower their defensive line, and you're just going to have holes open for the running game to where you could kind of suck them in into some play action passes. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything, and they basically just teed off the whole entire night. Was all in the backfield the whole entire night. TVD, he doesn't have good pocket presence, so he's happy feet. He's falling over himself. He doesn't, he doesn't feel the moment to where like, hey, I only got 2 3 seconds to get this ball. He's holding the ball too long now. Now he's guessing. He's overthrowing receivers. The one to Restrepo that got picked in the end zone, which is it's a pass he can make. You throw it to the corner. You only either Restrepo catches the pass or it goes out of bounds. He throws it short, gets picked. He throws another one to Restrepo. He throws it short, he gets picked. He's not making the throws that we know that he can make. So that has to go back into coaching. You got to empower your quarterback, empower him. What is the thing that he needs to get him going? Does he need to take some more deep shots? Give him a couple of deep shots down the field. Get your play call to where like you get some one-on-one matchups. Get some one-on-one matchups. You got and have Kobe Young and Jacoby George beat those matchups. Rashard Smith beat those matchups. And there's no shots down the field. Everything was pretty much 5 yards and in, 7 yards and in, and there was nothing else after that. So people are calling for TVD to be benched, and I do think that he needs to be benched. But going into Florida State, you can't put a rookie Emory Williams into that environment. He's going to get tore out the frame. And Miami's going to get tore out the frame either way, but you don't want to put your rookie quarterback in that situation. What I would do is you start TVD and you bring Emory Williams in and you bring in Ja'Cory Brown. You have packages similar to what North Carolina State did. You have packages, which you've been calling for. What's the point of even having him on your team? He's blown or let him. He's going to end up in the transfer portal, but he's burning a red shirt. There's 4 games left. He either have to red shirt, you have to play him. Other than that, like, what's the point? Get him on the field, see what he can do. Get some running packages in there for him. Get some packages in for him where throw a jump pass, get a quick tight end screen, do some misdirection to where he pops a pass here or there. But just having him on the sideline while your starting quarterback is clearly struggling. He's just struggling. It just is what it is. He's struggling. He's not playing well. He's not seeing the defenses. He's not seeing the field well. And he's not making the throws that he can make. That's one thing I can say. Like, people are talking about, TVD is just trash. Like, no, we've seen him make these throws. We've seen him make all the throws. He has NFL talent when it comes to being able to throw the ball. But when the talent doesn't equal you making reads, throwing it during the right situation, being locked in on one receiver because when in doubt he goes to Restrepo. He's just locked in on him. So I think they need to give the team a different feel. Give the team, some different energy. Go with Emory Williams, and you pull them quarterbacks in and out. Roll with the high hand. If Ja'Cory Brown is giving you some, he's giving you some life, he's giving you some positive plays, roll with him. If Emory Williams is giving you some life, giving you some positive plays, roll with him. But we just can't stick to TVD just because we like the guy. I like TVD. I think TVD could be a good quarterback when his confidence is there. He can make the throws when he's in rhythm. He's a top quarterback, like they say. But he's been out of rhythm for a while. He's not making the throws. The offense is out of sync, and it's not going to be for long before the defense is going to start breaking. They bend a little bit. They bend a little bit, and they're holding up, but they need the offense to kind of come through, put together to some long drives. Um, you get 4th and 1, and instead of pulling out a play that you haven't used all year, something that's a different look, you line up in shotgun 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and you run a running back power up the gut. Everybody knew it was coming. It gets stopped. You don't fake it. You don't pull it. You don't pull a tight end out the backside. You don't pull a receiver. Drag, cross, or nothing. You basically do what everybody knew was coming. They get the ball on their own three, drive 97 yards, score a touchdown. That's basically the game. The game was 7-6 for the longest. All you had to do was punch in a touchdown here or there, and the game is over. The game is over. This is a game where you're not going to score a whole lot of points. You just needed to they have to draw up one of those plays. Even the game is very sluggish. Shannon Dawson got to have one of those plays that they know is going to get the team going. This is one of those plays. Whatever it is, a flea flicker, it's a double reverse, it's a wildcat formation. It's something that gets the team hype. It gets TVD hype. When you throw that post corner and you get 45, 46 yards, and the quarterback is pumped. Like, now we got some energy going. The players is ready. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't none of that. And I'm just like, eventually we gotta start looking. Not even eventually. Now we just gotta call it like it is. The coaching has been atrocious. We've been getting thoroughly outcoached. We're getting outcoached on offense. Our defense. You've seen the other coaches doing what we should be doing. Our defense is holding up, and I had to give it to Gidry on this one. Like, the defense, and I don't even know if I want to give it to him because I think the players are just players. We just got some dogs on defense, and they're doing what they do. But also, once again, more clock management problems. Offensive scheme is just vanilla, as vanilla could be. We got three running backs. You go exclusively to Mark Fletcher, which I understand, but why have Don Chaney and Parrish out there if you don't want to mix up some of the looks? You don't want to mix up the tempo. You don't want to go tempo. You don't want to slow. Like, you gotta. But I mean, like, I think these guys are just in over their head. They're not ready for the moment, and we're probably going to get annihilated next week by Florida State, and we're probably going to skate into the end of the season on a 4 or 5 game losing streak. I think that it just is what it is. I don't see any more wins in them for them. I think the locker room is lost. You've seen at the end of the game, the players were just fighting. You can see the frustration. They know they have the talent. The talent, they know they got the talent. It's NFL talent all through that roster. But when it's not being put together, the coaches aren't empowering you. They're getting out coached. It's going to start trickling down to the players. The players are going to start, and who knows what this is going to do for recruiting. But yeah, what do you guys say, man? Let me know what you think about the coaching job that Mario Cristobal and Shannon Dawson have done. Do you think they are the reason that TVD has his um lost his confidence? He's playing so bad, or is it just TVD playing bad? Um, why hasn't the passing attack? Shannon Dawson was supposed to be this air raid master. Why hasn't the passing attack took off? We seen that one game against Texas A&M, and we're just like, oh, they scored 48 points, and we think it's going to be there. They had another game against Miami, Ohio, where they scored 38 points, and we think the passing attack is going to be there. And then you get in the ACC play, and no passing attack. Passing attack has disappeared. TVD is consistently thrown 2 to 3 picks every game. and they're bad picks. These are stare down, double coverage, poorly thrown picks. These aren't like guys just making really good plays. So let us know. What do you think? Should happen going into Florida State? Should TVD start? Should Emory Williams start? Should the Corey Brown start? Should they rotate? Should they have packages for each? And and what do you think about the coaching job? It should Mario start filling some of the hot seats? Should Shannon Dawson start filling some of the hot seat? This is should be, a show me year. We had last year to be like, all right, we need to get stuff in and I know this is Shannon Dawson's first year, but for Mario, this is like this is supposed to be the year where you're supposed to start to see some steps moving forward. And we're not seeing progression, we're seeing regression. But just wanted to get a quick one in. Let you guys know how we felt about what's going down. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you think. As always, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. But this should play a partner from the bottom of the map, and we gone.